It's day 3 on my 7-day quest with Windows 7. Again, the beta version of Windows 7, slated to be released later this year or early next year. And today I've decided to force myself to use Internet Explorer 8. I myself am a Firefox or Chrome user, but for the sake of my 7-day quest with Windows 7, I'm going to use Internet Explorer and show you some of the features. I'm even going to leave MSN as my home page. Internet Explorer 8 is available right now for Windows Vista. I don't know if it's something you need to go out and grab. In fact, I think if you're using Firefox or Chrome, you don't need to. But if you do decide to use Internet Explorer 8, here are some of the features you'll find. First off, it looks a lot like Internet Explorer 7. And if you want the menu to show up like it used to in Internet Explorer 6, you can click Tools over here from the side, then click Toolbars, and then click Menu Bar right here on the options, and they'll come up. The other thing you can do is right click and make sure the menu bar is enabled. A couple of new buttons that you'll find on the toolbar already in Internet Explorer 8 are suggested sites and more add-ons. So if I click suggested sites, it shows me any sites that they think are similar to the site that I'm currently on. So I'm going to test that again here. I'm on CNET, and if I click suggested sites, it gives me some options that it thinks are similar to CNET. So let's go back home, and we're going to go back to the MSN web page because it's one of the few web pages that'll have this feature I'm going to show you next, and it's this little button right here. This little green button is called Web Slices in Internet Explorer 8. And what happens is if you happen to be on a web page, and interestingly enough they're 95% Microsoft websites at the moment, and if you click on this little green button, it's going to show you what's available on that page as a web slice. So what the heck is a web slice? Well, let's try this out here. We're going to hover down here into the page, and if I just hover on this photo, you see I get a web slice on the left hand side. If I click that, it says, do I want to add that web slice? And so I'll say, oh sure, let's give it a try. Add it to my favorites bar. So let's test out our web slice. Here I'm on AccuWeather, and let's decide I want to look at my MSN slideshow. If I just click on the little web slice, it comes up and shows me the slideshow in a smaller window over the top of what I'm currently looking at. Useful? You decide. Next up is the add-ons. Let's go over here and look at add-ons. If I click Get More Add-ons and then come down here to Find More Internet Explorer Add-ons, you'll get a gallery that you can search of different options that are available for adding on and making Internet Explorer 8 even more functional. So let's click over here on Dictionaries and Reference, and let's add Wikipedia Visual Search. So I'm going to click Add to Internet Explorer. It says, do I want to add for this? And I'll say sure. And it doesn't tell you, but you have to close the browser and reopen the browser to get that add-on to be enabled. So I've reopened my browser. I'm going to highlight Chris Dodd, and when I let go of the mouse, you see that I get this little button here on the side, and that is an Internet Explorer 8 accelerator. When I click that, I get different options for things that I've added to Internet Explorer 8. So for example, definition with Encarta comes up, tells me no results found for Chris Dodd. So if I highlight Chris Dodd again, get that little blue accelerator button, I can come down here to all accelerators, and I can, for example, go look up in Google News, and it'll bring up a new tab where it searched Chris Dodd in Google News and gives me all the information related to that. Now some of the options, for example, you saw when I did the define with an accelerator, come up in another little pop-up window. This only again occurs with Microsoft enabled tools. Microsoft has said they've made a concerted effort to make Internet Explorer 8 safer than Internet Explorer 7. Time will tell how well that turns out, but they do have a couple of things in here like Smart Screen Filter. Check out this website and see if it is legit. They also have the new what's called porn mode in private browsing, which means when you open that up, you get a brand new window, and then anything you do in this window in the Internet Explorer 8 does not get saved. There's no cookies, no temporary files, and no history. If you're a porn surfer, maybe you're going to like that. Otherwise, I have no clue why that's in there. Internet Explorer 7 introduced tabbed browsing for the first time to the Internet Explorer browser, And if you're not using tab browsing, you need to learn how to do it. I've got a tip on my website and here on YouTube as well. And here I've opened up 4 different tabs. They still have the option of what's called the quick tabs over here on the left, which lets me see a thumbnail of all the open tabs. And if I click on one of them, it'll bring that tab forward. And again, here are all the tabs here on the tab toolbar. And one last feature a lot of people ask for is how do I delete something from the drop-down address menu but not delete everything? In the past, you had to either learn a little trick, which I have again on my website, or you had to do some registry editing. With Internet Explorer 8, they've made it much simpler. All you do is hover on one of the options that you don't want to have any further in your list, and then over to the side there's a little X. Just click it, and it'll drop that particular item off your list. So that's a new feature in Internet Explorer 8 as well. Well, in a nutshell, that is Internet Explorer 8. Nothing huge. The web slices and the add-ons are certainly still playing catch up with what's available already in Firefox, and even the new Google browser, Chrome, has some of these features that I think already outperform what's happening here in Internet Explorer 8. But this is what you get with the new Windows 7.